What's up, guys? I hope you all are doing well. Welcome back to my YouTube channel and welcome back to another YouTube video. In this video, we will be looking at exercise 55 of our Python exercise tutorial series. Without any further ado, let's get to it. Exercise 55. A proper divisor of a positive integer n is a positive integer less than n which divides evenly into n. Write a function that computes all of the proper divisors of a positive integer. The integer will be passed to the function as its only parameter. The function will return a list containing all of the proper divisors as its only result. Complete this exercise by writing a main program that demonstrates the function by reading a value from the user and displaying the list of its proper divisors. Okay guys, so you'll notice, right, that in this specific question, what they did is they kind of combined us working with lists and functions. Okay, so all in all, we just need to have a main function that takes in, one integer, as they said, n, and basically we need to have a list that basically stores all of the numbers that divide evenly into n. So basically where the remainder is 0, right? And that's really all they are asking us for. You can think of it such where we are getting the factors of a certain value, and those factors are basically the numbers that divide entirely by the number itself. So I'll give you an example, right? If I enter the number 10 as n, the program's basically going to take 10 and divide it by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9, right? That's what the program is going to do. And essentially a list is going to be outputted in which, well, since we used number 10, so from 1 to 9, all those values that 10 divided evenly by will be inside that list that's returned to us. So we can expect to see 1 because 10 divided by 1, or rather the remainder of 10 divided by 1 is 0, the remainder of 10 divided by 2 is 0, so we'll see 1, 2, we'll see 5, and yeah, that's about it. I do hope that makes sense, guys. That's kind of a little talk that we had about what's expected and what we will be seeing and doing. So let's get to it. This program will begin basic, define a main function for ourselves to be using. Since we are going to be entering integer, right? The text prompt tells us as well a positive integer n. It's basically a number. So let's set up an input prompt. N is equals to int input. Please enter an integer. That's good. Now, what we need to do next is basically, guys, the main function is the one that does taking in of input and giving out of output. So what we can do while we are here is basically print the proper divisors of, let's do a percentage d, yeah, that's good. And then we'll provide some formatting for the placeholder. So basically what we are doing now, guys, is we are kind of getting the structure of output, right? We know for a fact that when we read input, that's going to happen, and then when it's time for output, we'll see a message that says the proper divisors of the number that was, whatever number was entered, are, and we'll provide formatting for this placeholder. So let's do n. That's good. And now after that, we need to call a function, right? And this function is going to be the one that actually does the processing for us. Okay, and basically what this function is going to do is return a list that has our values. So we'll do for I in, let's say, divs, that's basically the divisors, and we'll print I. Okay, that's good. So as you'll see, right, there are two errors that we are getting, which is as expected because proper divs is not defined. It's the function that we want to do the processing for our script, and divs is not defined. Well, divs in this case would be the, you can call yours anything, right? It's going to be that list that's basically storing the, what you call it, proper devices. That's what it's storing, right? And now we'll define proper divs. Well, as you know, this function is taking in one argument. It has one parameter. We'll call it n. Now, the logic for this function for I in range 1 to n minus 1. So there's no need for you to be confused because we spoke exactly about all of this in the little example I gave you, right? If the user enters 10, we'll need to iterate from 1 up till n minus 1, which is basically 9. So it's the same logic. We are just putting that logic in perspective of Python syntax. So if n mod I is equals to 0, okay, it's supposed to be I is equals to 0, then all we need to do is divs dot append n. My bad, divs dot append I. Let's talk about this. So as I said, right, for I in range, so I is taking on the value of the divisors, right? The number by which we are dividing. That's what I is taking on. So basically n is the that static number. So if I enter 10, it's going to be, you know, as the loop cycles, 10 mod 1 equals 0. It'll assess that. Then 10 mod 2, because remember I is taking on the value of the for loop. Okay, I is the temporary variable, so it will carry on going until we have reached, you know, the condition for the for loop. So until n minus 1 value is reached, that will terminate the for loop. So I do hope that makes sense. Next, after that loop logic has executed, all we are doing is return divs, return divs, and that's that. That concludes the coding for this program, guys. The logic for this program is complete. All we need to do to make sure that the program runs is call the main function. Okay, so let's go ahead and test this program and then we'll conclude the video. Control enter. Let's do 10 as we spoke about earlier. 1, 2, and 5. This is exactly what we were expecting. So let's play around with this. 13. Yeah, correct, because you know 13 is a prime number, which means it's only having 1 and itself as the divisors. To make this program a bit more intuitive, guys, what we can do is let's do n plus 1, right? I mean, we've answered this program, so let's test the program like this. Yeah, see, this is what I'm saying. It's really much more powerful and interpretive, especially the output, if we are shown the number which we entered as well, right? This basically lets us know if something is a prime number or not, because of the fact that it only has two factors, right? Two proper divisors. So 1 and 2 to 3. That means 2 to 3 is a prime number. Okay, let's do 15. Excellent. So that is good. I do hope you found this lesson interesting, guys. You know, we've successfully completed exercise 55 of our Python exercise tutorial series. And with that, we'll conclude the video here. Thank you for watching. Thank you for your time. Good luck with your work, and I'll see you in the next YouTube video.